In the video game community, there's kind of two camps. There's your hardcore gamers, and there's your gamers that only like playing sports games. In today's episode, we're going to crack out our top 10 sports games for non-sports gaming fans. This is going to be a fun one. What are we drinking
today? We're drinking a Hefeweizen by Jackson Street. This is from Iowa.
All right, you know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss one of our bi-weekly uploads. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and let's talk about some sports games that every gamer can enjoy.
Off the grid. Boom shakalaka.
All right, it's safe to say I think I tend to be a sports games fan for all types of sports, but this guy, not so much.
What are sports? Ball, get in the hoop net, score, I don't know, touchdown, woo!
Yeah, but the list of games we're going to talk about today we feel are fun for almost everyone, including gamers, and a lot of our picks here are through trial and error of us having friends over at parties, different things like that, and people gravitate to these games. It's like, let me play the next round. There will be some games that will be some honorable mentions, but we've got 10 bangers, and this is just our list of the top 10 sports games for non-sports fans. And we're going to jump in with a racing game. A boat racing game that is oft overlooked because it never got a physical release.
Yeah, digital download only.
Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series X fans, you can all access this game. It's Hydro Thunder Hurricane, and it's bad ass.
I think most people have played a version of Hydro Thunder at some point in their life. But Hurricane is the best version of it. Hands down, up to 4-player, split screen, the way the water mechanics are, the way you can search for bitcoins.
Yeah, so the Hydro Thunder tokens?
Yeah, there's 10 of them, I think, in every level, and if you get those, you can unlock different things. I remember when we played this game with Ryan, we would drive backwards just to find the coins.
We wanted to complete everything.
Like, we didn't care about who got first. We just wanted... It's so much fun. Full throttle, baby.
It's so good. This game does not get talked about enough. Unfortunately, you can only get it on those Microsoft platforms, but if you've got a 360 laying around, an Xbox One, Xbox Series X, you gotta freaking play Hydro Thunder Hurricane. Everyone that I know that has played this game loves this game.
Oh, yeah. It is phenomenal. Now we got to move on to a game that if you've been following the channel at all, you know that we talk about this game nonstop.
Yeah.
It was our game of the month like for the past year. That is NHL Hits 2002/03. You don't have to be a hockey fan to love NHL Hits because it's 3-player co-op magic.
It is.
It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I think magic. There's something about this game when you play it 3-player that just clicks. It's so fun to play. It's a very simple deal. You have to score a goal, but people love checking. They like people can learn this game so quick. Now, there is an element though of when you move up the difficulty and you got to get really good at the game. Yeah. But even casuals can be very good and have a great time playing this game. I can't say enough good things about it. Of that Hitz, Jam, Blitz, Slugfest type of midway sports arcade games, this is the cream of the frickin' crop.
This is phenomenal.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
I literally think if you play with 2 other friends, so 3 people total, not even trying to be funny, it is the best 3-player co-op game I have ever played in my entire life.
And it's so funny, dude. Every time I play it, my goal is not to score points. My goal is to get as many hits as possible.
No pun intended.
No pun intended, dude. That is... Because I don't care about... I mean, I care about winning, obviously, because we're playing a game, but I don't care about sports, so I'm just like, can I get 100 hits this game?
And the game's cheap as hell. You can get this game so cheap. You can get it on PS2, Xbox, GameCube. And it still looks fantastic, plays amazing, just literally video game perfection at a very low price. Now let's get out onto the beach a little bit here.
Some beach volleyball. Right now, while we're filming this, it is the 2021 Olympics. So we're kind of honoring that with some beach spikers on the GameCube, dude. This game is so much fun. Sega Sports at its finest.
I will say, your initial reaction when you play, it's going to be like, ooh, this camera's kind of messed up.
That's what we think, too.
I will agree. But once you get to playing this game is so fun. You can literally play the game with one button. So then it's all you're doing is timing a deal, and then you're working cooperatively with the person you're playing with. If you play it multiplayer, this game really thrives in a multiplayer setting.
Hands down.
2 to 4 player.
So we've only
fun.
ever played it 2-player where we're on the same team.
Or 4 player against...
Oh, I forgot we did that.
Yeah,
I forgot we
yeah.
did that. That's fun as hell, dude. 2v2 is so much fun. I think it is 2 buttons, but you literally only need 1 button if you're just learning. It's so much fun, but if you're one of those hardcore gamers that wants to get into the game, you can get into it and be able to, okay, B does this and it will set you up for a better shot.
Yeah.
You can get precise at it, or you can just be casual.
A lot of these games, I think, apply to that exact narrative. Is you can get as crazy and hardcore about it as you want and get really good, or you could pick the game up once a year and have a blast.
Dude, it's so much fun. And I love how arcadey and cheesy it is because it goes, thank you for playing.
Yeah, it's total that campy Sega arcade styles written all over this. Fairly cheap game too. You can get into this game probably for $12 to $15, and
I feel like it's a game not many people talk about.
yeah, but it's badass. It's an amazing game.
The next game is also on the GameCube, and this game is kind of pricey.
Most expensive game on our list.
But this game is phenomenal, and it is the best in the series. I know there's a second one on the Wii, but that's Mario Strikers.
Yeah.
I hate soccer, but I love Strikers. This game is amazing.
It's perfect.
It's just so much fun. 1 to 4 players. It's really cool because if you're playing as the main guy, you can get 2 points per goal if you get the freaking... And then there's power-ups.
Yeah.
Man, it's simple, fun, and it can piss you off.
It is, and you mentioned the one that came after this, which is, it's an okay game in its own right, but they just did way too much with it. There was chaos in the game, but the game was still vanilla enough that it was a casual pick up and play. It's just so good. It is so good, and I know the game goes for probably $50-$60. It is freaking worth it. It is worth it.
Hands down. We know a lot of people that have bought it because we've talked about it, and they say, okay, yep, worth it.
Yeah. Racing game fans, some of you prefer arcade, some of you prefer sim racing. This next game, I think, is a game that I don't know anybody that doesn't like it. We're not huge racing game fans.
Oh.
We're just not. But Burnout 3 Takedown is one of the best video games ever made.
Dude, it's the
so
perfect
good.
blend of arcade racing, sim racing, just married together perfectly. All the different game modes, the soundtrack, everything about it is incredible. And I know there's a lot of other racing games out there like Burnout Revenge. We stream that a lot.
That definitely needs a mention because it's not as good as Takedown, but it's good. It's good.
That game's really good. I know there's all those kart racers, Mario Kart, Sonic Transformed Race, a bunch
Diddy
of
Kong racing.
Everything.
But if we're playing a racing game together, this is what we're going for.
And this game, it's funny, is this game's only 1 player.
Yeah.
But we love taking turns being like, dude, you didn't get it? Let me get it.
Such a good game. You can get this game on the cheap. It's amazing. Amazing soundtrack. I think there's a local H song.
There is a local H song. And
look at your shirt, dude.
Yeah.
See?
And what's cool about this list so far, and the rest of the list, is these are games that not a lot of people talk about, and most of them are cheap, except for Strikers.
Yeah.
It's on the GameCube. But these are games you can find anywhere for cheap and just pick up and have fun with.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to say, is go have fun with these games.
Yeah, Burnout 3 Takedown. It's literally one of the best video games ever made. And the variety in Burnout 3 Takedown and Revenge, its later release, or the one that came after it, is you get some straightforward racing, but then Crash Mode. Crash Mode is one of the funnest game modes of all time.
And it's so stupid.
Yeah. You put anybody on that, they're going to have fun. Again, the things we're saying are tried and true. We do a lot of gaming in groups with friends, and that's kind of our thing. People love Burnout 3 Takedown, as do we, and we think you will too if you haven't played it. Where you been? Right?
And speaking of gaming with friends, this next game is such a straightforward sim game.
Which is weird.
Which is super weird, but with 4 people in the room, it is amazing. And that's Tiger Woods. I'm going to say 04 to 06.
Yeah.
They're basically the same besides the roster.
For me, 04 to 06, I probably prefer 04 and 05. But 06, I have a cheap copy of it, and that's the one we play in the garage. And I have just as much fun. This is the most simulation-style game that we have.
It's just straightforward golf.
I mean, maybe a couple down the line is another one that's kind of sim. But to your point, you get 4 people who don't hardly play games by the second or third hole. Everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody feels like they have a chance. Everybody feels like they can get better. And you always leave a session of Tiger Woods being like, dude, when are we doing this again?
And you always leave pissed off because I never win. Except for that one time during the 24-hour live stream.
Yeah. You would bring that up.
That, of course, I can't find the footage of.
Yeah, because it was 24 hours long and it couldn't capture that much footage.
I know.
If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, did it really happen?
Yes.
I think not.
I was there, and it was amazing. It's the first time I've ever won, so I'm super happy. But golf is fine. It's a fine sport. I hate watching it.
Yeah.
It's so boring. And you think playing it, it's such a slow, boring game. But 4-player, man, it gets intense because you're like, oh, dude, I'm down by 2. I got an eagle.
Yeah.
It's such a fun game.
It is. It's in those PS2 ones, and I could be speaking from a point of lack of knowledge, but I've only dabbled in like PS3, that next generation. I don't even care to get outside of 04 to 06 on PS2.
They are perfect.
They're perfect. They're exactly what they need to be. Awesome games. We've streamed the shit out of this next game, and we could honestly probably say this entire series.
The entire series, the entire franchise, and that's NBA Jam. You don't have to be a basketball fan to love NBA Jam because it's over the top, it's ridiculous, it's kind of rubber bandy at some points, it keeps it close.
Yeah.
But man, is it fun.
But the one we really want to hone in on is NBA Jam on Fire Edition, which is a digital download only, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been removed from the PlayStation 3 store.
Yes, so it's no longer available.
Still get it on Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. So you might want to get it while you still can, because for whatever reason they took it off the Sony store. It's the best version
of the game.
It's my favorite NBA Jam, period. I love it.
The graphics look beautiful. Mm-hmm. The way the story mode is, the co-op story mode is so much fun because you play teams multiple times and it gets harder in difficulty, and then the game modes change. Mm-hmm. Dude, I could care less about basketball, but every time I play that game, I'm like, one more game.
And it follows that exact narrative we've talked about before. Low barrier of entry, high degree of difficulty.
Yes.
You can get in and know what you're doing, but when you want to play the game on hard, you better bring your lunch. The game gets serious. It gets people competitive that have never watched basketball before. I love it. And then we're going to jump into a game that was designed to be a sim game, but it actually turned out to be one of the best co-op games I've ever played, and that's Tennis 2K2 on the Sega Dreamcast.
Yes, this game is very simmy, and it's straightforward tennis.
Yeah.
But when you're playing co-op and you're trying to win the gold belt, dude, first off, it's hard. Second off, it's so much fun.
It is.
And it's another one of those games where I'm pretty sure it's only 1 or 2 buttons. You can get in on it super easy, and then if you want to become an expert at it, it's going to take some time. This game is so much fun.
It is fun. It gets very difficult in the tournament as you're getting towards the end, but this game is actually Virtua Tennis 2 in other markets.
Yes.
In the US, it's Tennis 2K2. It's got the Williams sisters on the front, I believe.
We've talked about this game a lot.
And it's super cheap on the
got
Sega Dreamcast.
We got our copy sealed
for like $5.
For dirt cheap, and we were like, what are we going to do with this? And we put it in to test it, and we were like,
yeah.
Best game ever.
Yeah, we lost a whole afternoon, no joke, the first time we played that game. We were testing it, like you mentioned, and literally it was like 7 o'clock, and we're like, we've been playing this for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's that good.
It's so much fun. Now, the next game, people are going to say, that's not a sport. It's in the Olympics, so it's a sport now. Ooh. And that's skateboarding. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, I think, is the best way to get a non-skating fan or a non-sports fan into skateboarding. It's the perfection of all the Tony Hawk games, I feel like.
I think it's fantastic, and I think it's a game that here coming up in the next 6 months to a year, folks are going to be able to find dirt cheap. I'm already seeing it on Xbox One and PS4 in pawn shops for $10 a piece.
Yeah, it will be at garage sales. You can get it for dirt cheap. Dude, the soundtrack, the visuals, the way it plays, this game is amazing.
Yeah, I think Tony Hawk's maybe reached that age for folks who weren't born in the PS1 or N64 era or alive, and they go back and play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 on PS1. They're kind of like, it's kind of cool.
But it's dated.
This is the perfect entry point for a modern gamer to get into the franchise.
Dude, it is beautiful, and I know it's skateboarding, but it's a sport. It's in the Olympics. So, we win. Now moving on to the last game on our list, and that's an NES game. And we're going back to volleyball. Yeah. Because volleyball is simple. Kings of the Beach. We've talked about this game on the channel before.
New to us.
Dude, this game...
It's like a $1 game.
Dude, yeah. $1, and that's over market. Yeah. It's for $1. So simple, but it's up to 4 players on the NES, which is crazy. We do 2-player on the same team. It's just straightforward, simple, just bump volleyball, but it's hard.
And I think that's the fun part. From a co-op perspective, there are very narrow hitboxes in this game, and you've got to really work together and know your shit. So it's the type of game that you can kind of grind at together. It's a lot of fun. It's super cheap. The first minute or two you play, you're gonna be I don't know. Hey, hang on, because 2 hours later you're gonna be like, okay, let's go one more.
Yeah, one more. We gotta win.
That's 10. The title says 10. The whole episode was 10. we made our list. And we did not include the best video game probably ever made that is also centered around a sport, and that's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
We did not approve this. It's not on the list. But I will agree, this is a game, especially if you grew up in the NES era, it's an amazing boxing game. You can get into it if you're not into boxing, you can get into it if you are into boxing.
Yeah.
It's amazing, but it's so hard.
It's a game, boxing is the subject matter, but the game is pattern recognition, memorization, and timing.
Yeah.
And it's one of those games that I think is, you feel the best that you'll ever feel as a gamer when you beat that game. And it's got that, ladder system, so you beat a guy that you're like, man, I've been working on him for like a freaking week. I finally got him. Now I gotta go on to the next guy.
And you gotta spend another week on him.
Yeah, it's such a rewarding game. Getting Mike Tyson's version of the game is a little more expensive, which I think that's the one you need to play.
Yeah.
It's getting up there $40, $50 range.
But
just regular Punch-Out on the NES, which they replaced Tyson with another dick face that Mr. Dream or something. I don't even acknowledge that game. Yeah, it's stupid. But that's a lot cheaper. But I think it's not only one of the best sports games ever made, one of the best video games ever made. So we had to throw that in as a little bonus at the end here, because we just got a little excited making this list, and I'm like, where's fucking Punch-Out, dude?
And now we do have some honorable mentions, because obviously a lot of these games are arcade sports, and there's a lot of sports games out there that we love that are kind of, a lot of people would enjoy, but there is some learning curve, and if you're not a sports fan, you might not enjoy. So let's start off with MLB SlugFest. I feel like this is an arcade baseball game, obviously, but you got to be a fan of baseball.
There's still a lot of core baseball game elements.
It's very simmy.
Yeah, the three that we'll talk about in this pocket for honorable mentions is SlugFest, NFL Blitz, and the red card soccer game.
Oh yes,
they're all awesome. But they, if you play NFL Blitz with somebody that doesn't know anything about football, the play calling and the buttons of who you throw to for a receiver and having to be able to somewhat, even a little bit, read a defense, they're pick up and play for football fans, baseball fans, soccer fans. They're not pick up and play games for your casual gamer.
Going back to NFL Blitz, if you're not a football fan, you can still have fun with it, because I could care less about football, but I love the elements they add that's arcadey. It's fast-paced, you can blitz, the way you can jump on your characters. It is fun, but if you're playing against someone who knows football, they'll probably win most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's fun for a little bit, but then you're like, well, I'm just going to lose.
Yeah.
There's a lot of football games that apply to this. Mutant Football League's up there, and then you got your NFL Streets. It's the same style where it's arcadey and chaos and craziness. But if you don't know what the plays mean or how the plays work, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah. NBA Street's really awesome too. FIFA Street's really great as well. But the ones that made our list are just games we have spent countless hours on. Yeah. And for any games to come into that tier and knock any of those out, I don't think it'll ever happen, because the games that we mentioned are games we will be playing for life. I have no doubt about it.
And we could introduce anyone to them, and they will have a blast playing with us.
It's like, we'll start off so many of our sessions for the day of you can play some beach bikers. Let's do a quick run.
Yeah, quick run.
You can play some tennis 2K2. Let's do a quick run. Hey, you want to do a crash mode real quick and Burnout 3? And that's never going to stop, because it's so much fun. And I think I love our list, because I think our list is accessible to anybody that likes video games or just likes party games.
Yeah, a lot of these
games,
they
like sports games.
A lot of games are kind of in that party element and not really sport element, even though they are sport games,
Sports themed. But they're freaking fun for everybody. They really are.
And I'm sure we missed a lot of other games.
I'm sure, but this is our list.
This is our list, and this is what we played. So let us know in the comments below, what are games that we missed that we need to check out?
Yeah.
Because we're always looking for new, fun sports games.
Yeah, but man, that's a banging list of games.
It's going to be hard to top that list. But we got to talk about this beer.
Yeah.
This is a Hefeweizen by Jackson Street, brewed in Sioux City, Iowa.
Yeah.
Which is where I was born.
Nice.
So it's kind of cool. It feels like I'm part of this beer.
And it feels like that's what you were maybe drinking at the hospital when you were a baby.
Probably.
Yeah.
Dude. Makes sense. That would explain a lot.
Hefeweizens are traditionally one of the hardest beers to make.
Yes.
So you got to put that into the equation. What do you think of this so far?
I am surprised by it.
Same here.
This I'm pleasantly surprised by it because I've had a lot of Hefeweizens, especially local Hefeweizens, that aren't as good because I've had traditional Hefeweizens, and I have this expectation for them. But this is like really good. I will say that it's a little bit different than a regular Hefeweizen. It's a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit lighter. You do get that banana and clove taste here and there, but it's something about it is sweeter. But it is cool because it is cloudy. There was chunks, like it's unfiltered. I'm shocked and pleasantly surprised, but it's still not one of the best Hefeweizens I've had.
Yeah.
It's definitely up there.
That was a great review. I can't really add much to it. I wasn't expecting much. Way surprised.
Yes.
Probably, gotta give him an A for effort. Probably a 7 out of 10, but you gotta think
You're comparing that to like
the 50 to 100 Heffies that we've tried, it's like maybe 5 to 10 that are even like considered like top shelf. They're so hard to do and do right. This is a really good Hefeweizen for being a local brewery.
Yes.
And the bar was low for what I expected because the bar on the other side is so damn high.
Pinky, settle down, bud.
That's the tough part is the bar that I have set is the Hefeweizen that we've had that's the import.
Yeah.
Which is like the oldest brewery.
Yeah.
And that beer is so good.
It is.
And then it's like,
and
how do you compare that?
Even Hannah, from Exile, though, is pretty good. It's gotten a little worse over the years because they've changed some things. But this is, I would have, if I ordered this on draft or something, I would have been really happy with
I would have been like,
selection.
whoa. Because we've ordered a lot of Hefeweizens on draft.
Yeah.
And like, oh, didn't quite get it.
Well, it's that one beer that when you order or pick up out in the wild, you've got probably a 10% chance of liking it.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes.
It's
a lot
just-
of times
it's
it's just
a
a
dice
disappointment.
roll. Yeah.
And so we don't pick a ton of them up, even though it's one of our favorite styles. But
And this is, I'm very shocked by this.
Yeah.
Great freaking job, Jackson Street.
yeah,
Sweet. Representing Sioux City.
yeah, town where Robert crawled out of the canal.
It must have conceived.
Yeah. Oh,
If-
you were conceived there?
I think so.
No, you don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I just checked the books.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that list of games. I really hope there was a game or two on there that you're like, holy shit, I haven't played that. I got to check that out.
Peach Spikers.
These are just games to have fun with, enjoy. They will put smiles on people's faces. They will get the competitive juices flowing, and you'll be surprised at the non-sport folks in the room that
That'll
have a
have-
good time.
Yes, and a lot of them are dirt cheap.
Yeah,
So,
that's the best part.
what's your excuse?
Yeah.
Go play them right now.
No excuses at ender. We always appreciate you tuning in and subscribing to the channel. We'll see you next time right here on Gaming Off the Grid. And if you want to see some NHL hits in action, we'll probably be streaming it on some Sunday in the near future, many a times. So come hang out.
Dude, I think he's caught up in there. Just disconnected from the deck. You got him back?
Every gamer can enjoy. One and done. They call me One Take Dead. Yeah.
We fucking did it.
On some sun.
This is Pinky. He's a male cat, domestic short hair. He's available for adoption. He's pet of the week, Placer County Animal Shelter. He's a very loving cat.